Oh, by the way, him just asking the word association questions was just him trying to get you to say banana.
Yeah.
So he's like hammock, fruit,
Cream pie.
cream pie.
I know.
And he was asking me real word associations. And you just
That is so dumb.
all but
I was like, these make no sense. So- Hello and welcome to Cash Me Outside. I'm Caden, joined by Christian and Chad in our brand new studio. How does it feel?
Good.
it's so good. I can't
Good
believe
to finally actually record something. This is probably our 6th time trying to record something.
We've been here a lot. We actually recorded a whole episode for the poem treasure hunt, and then it was found.
the Utah treasure hunt. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
that's-
found
yeah.
before we released it. Is that what happened?
Yeah. And well, you also messed up the audio, but we're not going to get into that. It's a new day. It's a new season of Cash Me Outside.
It was actually the video I messed up, but
Well,
Tomato, tomato.
yeah.
We're here.
idiot.
All right.
No, we're feeling good. I'm excited for this. We're recording this. The treasure has not been found yet. The Bank of Utah treasure.
Thank heavens.
Hopefully, it doesn't get found before we can release some more episodes because we love it here. We'd love to be able to get some more episodes out in the studio. So, anything else we need to catch up on before we dive into?
How about like our lives? What we're doing?
We'll be real fast. I think people care this much about our lives.
Yeah.
But it's
I've
been a
been-
while since we've done a podcast.
Yeah. it
Chad's
has been a long
married
time.
now.
Chad's
married now. Have we done a podcast since I've been married?
We haven't.
We
No.
haven't. Okay.
Wow.
So
If he's got that little
there
glow.
are there are things to talk about.
Chad knows things,
And
that
it's
he did
after
not know
dark.
before.
Yeah.
His eyes have been opened.
Yeah.
So, Chad, if you could describe your experience of being celibate for 30 years and now
4 years.
34 years. Yeah. And how you feel now?
It was
Like-
good.
It's like he
It was
you
good,
were
and then I was very tired.
I love that's just all we want to talk about. It wasn't like, hey, man, how's been the relationship of living with your loved one all the
It is
time? We
good.
just want to
It
know.
is. It
It's
is
good?
good. Yeah. No, it's been awesome. 10 months now, but we've been going to farmers markets. That's what our lives are.
Is it a
now,
euphemism?
nowadays? Yes.
Okay.
What do you get?
Opened a booth.
Produce? Oh, you're
No, we-
selling at a farmer's
Yeah.
market.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Becca makes raised garden beds, and so we're.
Oh, cool.
I think we still have about 10 Cash Me Outside hats. Have a little side
Oh,
booth.
yeah.
Yeah.
I could do a little
Just
side
like
thing after that.
Buy zucchini, get a hat.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyways,
Good
that's
for
my
you
life.
guys. I
I
haven't
kept
been
it
to a
short.
farmer's market in a long time.
I had never been before I got married, not once, and now I am a farmers market guy.
That's awesome. What does that mean?
I go. I know people. I know other booths.
Oh, my goodness. Jedediah, how is the
Jedediah.
crop?
A strong yield this year. No,
That's awesome.
There's only like one farmer there.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of.
It's more just
bakeries
like
and-
a maker market.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Cool. Caden?
I got stuck in Chicago this week, so that was fun. That's kind of the latest thing that's been going on
It's
with
like
me.
Home Alone
I know.
1.
This is why we're recording this on a Tuesday night.
Yep.
Yeah, we were supposed to do it Sunday night. Sorry.
It's okay. I
Sorry.
have no updates. Just live my life.
Yeah.
But we are really pumped because this is the second year we've been able to cover the Bank of Utah treasure hunt. And it's so much fun being able to have multiple hunts in a year because sometimes when a hunt is finished and it finishes early, Chad, this probably makes a lot of sense to you. So when it finishes and it finishes like surprisingly early, it can make you feel a little empty and unfulfilled, unsatisfied. And so it's nice to be able to have another try at it, which is what we get with the Bank of Utah because it's another great treasure hunt that comes after the Utah treasure hunt. And it's a little bit different and unique from the Utah treasure hunt, but fun in its own ways.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I was not listening.
Okay.
Anyways, we should probably go over the format of this first. So the Bank of Utah hunt is a little bit different than the Utah treasure hunt in that it's, I believe, a total of $20,000. $10,000 goes to the winner, and then the winner chooses a charity. Is it like a charity of their choice? Do you know?
There's a
Or
list of
is there a
approved charities.
list of
There's a
charities?
list.
There's
Yeah.
a list of approved charities, and you choose
Okay,
from
there's
that.
a list of approved charities that the other $10,000 goes to. There's 6 clues total. I think we're just at the first clue right now, released at least weekly.
Mhm.
Correct? I don't know if they hold to that schedule very firmly.
Yeah, I
But-
think it's almost always like a week, but it's not like exactly 7 days is what my experience has been, if I remember right.
Okay,
But-
so it's like you kind of got to be watching.
Yeah.
It's not the Utah Treasure Hunt. They'll do it like 10 a.m. every Saturday,
Systematically.
every time. And
But
they
the
do it in
poem
different
is
ways.
released in sections. Like with the Utah Treasure Hunt, the whole poem is released, and
so
they
it's
release
just
clues.
part 1, part 2.
This is they're releasing the poem in tranches.
Yeah, it's like stanzas. Like they say clue, like 6 clues, but each clue is like almost like 4 lines of a poem.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then the other part of it, the other difference, is a big difference, is there are do they call them side quests?
Side
Yeah.
quests.
In
There's
the
4 side
Bank of Utah
quests. Yeah.
There's 4 side quests where you can win. They basically just say prizes, but I think there's some money involved in that.
Last
And
year it was dope.
additional clues.
Yeah. Last year, I don't know if they're doing the same prize this year, but last year it was the Black Desert Resort. It was like a stay at the
Oh, I
Black Desert
remember
Resort.
that. That was the one that was outside of our
Yeah,
office.
well, every single one of them was.
Oh, all of
Yeah,
them.
we were all that, and we wanted it so badly because we
Ugh.
like to golf, and we now all have loved ones we could go stay with.
I had loved ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
So now there's just ones that are legally have to be your friends. The little side quest, they have like a little pig, and they hide a pig somewhere.
Yeah, like a piggy
Okay.
bank.
But they would literally I think they just take a picture of it. They wouldn't do anything else, and you had to find out. I remember that last
I
year.
like that.
We got close
Well, there was the one where
to that one.
I figured out in 5 minutes that it was
it was far.
up
It
at
was
like
at Great Salt Lake, like Antelope Island.
well,
or
that
something.
one too. But remember the one that was at the sweet shop? It was like at a
Yes.
candy shop, and I had
You
just
guessed that one.
found the rock candy, and we found a picture. It
The
was-
next one
Oh,
was the
yeah.
one outside our office, right?
yeah. The funny thing about it is the only way you're going to win the side quest is if you probably live relatively close to where it's found.
Well, we don't know how they're going to do it.
I
this
know.
year.
But last year, like even if you could figure it out and quickly,
You could be 75
you
minutes
could be,
away.
yeah. So it's nice if you have friends and know people that are around and that are like willing to drop everything, go get it. Something.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what happened at the Antelope Island one. We knew someone up there. We're like, go get it. And he was like the 3rd person there.
Yeah.
But it is fun. But you do have to pay it. Like I would turn on alerts for their posts
on
Yeah,
Instagram.
because you have to be
Yeah.
fast. But there was one we had kind of like missed out the first 3. We were like a little disheartened, and we weren't following their posts as closely because the official hunt had ended. And then it was literally 50 yards from our office. Like it was almost like they're trying to F with us. Like they're just like, we're going to put it so close to these guys. It was right there. And we didn't see the post till 3 hours after they posted it. And we could have just like gone down to the elevator and walked and get it.
I remember we knew within a few minutes, and it was a laziness thing.
No.
Yeah, We knew within a few
There's
minutes.
no way lazy that we're like, let's not walk down and just grab it. We could see it out the window.
Christian, we worked at Snowball.
I know.
We were busy.
No, I promise we were too late. It had already been found. I guarantee you think I would have seen that and been like, no, sorry, I got emails to send.
Yeah.
I dream about that pig.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Other difference, and I believe we're already past this, and they won't do it again. But usually, when the Bank of Utah Treasure Hunt or Where's the Wallet? Is it Where's the Wallet?
Yeah.
Where's the Wallet hunt starts? You go in a day early to a Bank of Utah location, and you could get the clues. I don't think they do that with each following clue release.
Yeah.
But I swear that's what they did last
I
year.
feel like they did that one with like one bonus clue or something.
Did they?
Oh,
Okay.
the other thing
Well-
is if you find the side quest, the pig, in addition to getting a prize, you get a bonus clue early.
Yeah.
that can
Thanks
help you
for
with it.
reiterating that.
Did you say that?
I did. Yeah. That's okay though. I'll find it in the editing and I'll replay it.
Okay. Last
And
year it was dope.
additional clues.
It was dope.
additional clues.
That sounds fun.
Anyways, there it was.
All right. It kind of sucks that you control the editing because I feel
Doesn't
like you
it?
just manipulate it to make you look cool. Like right now, you're
Are
probably
you saying that like the history of all of our episodes,
Yeah.
I look super cool in all of them?
Chad comes off as just like the coolest guy.
Oh my God.
How is this guy
How
not
else do you
married?
think he got married?
He's
dude?
a virgin at 34? There's no way. I'm just joking. It's okay if you weren't a virgin too. I know we keep joking about that, but
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't need to reveal that.
I think we know. Okay, so can we talk real quick about like the more of the format, because what I think is helpful. I did this with the Utah Treasure Hunt. Is I looked at like the last 5 poems, and I actually ran this like hardcore analysis where I looked at like the syntax and the format of how they structure their poems, and then tried to like use that to understand that year's hunt. And I actually think it was kind of helpful. Didn't help us find it, but we understood a little bit more about the format of the poems. So it is important, I think, to kind of analyze. We are only in the 4th year of the Bank of Utah Treasure Hunt, so there's only been 3 passed, but it's starting to get enough that you can start to see patterns in the way that they write their poems. And I think that's helpful to kind of talk to real quickly. So I'm going to just kind of share a couple different kind of facts or things that I found in doing analysis of those 3. So number one that's really, really important. The first clue in all of the last 3 hunts have been just to tell you the county where the treasure is. So I think that's really interesting because it's super easy to think like if you don't know that, you can read into things and think you're supposed to be too far down the path. One thing that's kind of interesting with the Bank of Utah Hunt is they'll give like 4 lines of a poem. And in the Utah Treasure Hunt, it's almost like every line has individual thoughts or like kind of progress linearly, where it's more like with the Bank of Utah, like the clue of 4 lines is just to tell you like almost one thing, especially early on. So it's just telling you this is the county. So maybe not read too much into it. Now they could always do something different. This could be different this year than they've done in other years, but that's what they've done with like Summit County and Salt Lake County last year. There's a lot. And by the second clue, that's always been like a city. Like last year, it was to get you to Harriman. Yeah. And the year before that, it was to get you to Park City. So usually it's just like working its way geographically. First clue county, second clue city. And then the third clue is generally like a region of that city area where you'll be able to find the trailhead where you start in the progress.
City, area, region.
Yes. Region is kind of generic. You could almost say city, county,
You could say
city,
neighborhood.
trailhead.
Can you give us an example last year?
Yeah. So last year was kind of interesting. Or I'll say this: the 2 years ago.
2 years ago is it better?
2 years ago it's just written in my heart because we were about 50 yards away from where it was found.
We were so close. We've been very close to a lot of treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So close.
You guys have.
Yeah.
But we told you about it. So the third clue last year, 2 years ago, was to get you to the start of the Utah Rail Trail, which is kind of interesting because, like, for example, I know I keep comparing to the Utah Treasure Hunt, but the Utah Treasure Hunt, it gets you to the trailhead, and then from there, it's like usually like a 1 or 2 mile trail that you follow with then physical landmarks that are other clues to reinforce it. And then the last clue is kind of tell you to where you get off the trail and you find the treasure. Okay. With this one was interesting because it brought you to the Utah Rail Trail, but that trail is like a 28-mile trail. So there was still a huge progression that you would want to go. And when we went to go find that treasure, we didn't start at that trailhead because there was no reason. We just knew that was winding all the way to like Echo by the reservoir. And we just drove to that point and then got on the trail there. So it could be kind of different. Maybe it'll tell you, like last year, it got you to the trailhead, but that trailhead led up to it like a total branch off of all these trails. There was like 25 different trails it could have been on. So it's just kind of like the start of the trailhead, but that you needed to get to the more specific trail later on. That makes sense. Okay. They do a lot of wordplay, which I actually think is a lot of fun in this poem.
I think that's something that people who do the Utah Treasure Hunt want.
And
because they look for it all the time.
Always overread into the wordplay. Yeah.
And they never do wordplay in the Utah Treasure Hunt. Like rarely.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah. But like for example, when I say wordplay, like last year they had the word Cuban. They were like talking about food and stuff. And they talked about like a Cuban sandwich, but CU were both capitalized. And that was obviously the CU for the element symbol of copper. Mm-hmm. And then that was telling you like the copper mines, but it was telling you the Bingham copper mine because ham is in a Cuban sandwich. So I thought like actually pretty clever way.
That's really
I like that. Do you think
that
that was a mistake making that capitalized? Like, would that have done it?
Well, when I was researching it, I was like, okay,
last year
so
was
this
two.
is like Kennecott copper, like, right? But it actually wasn't Kennecott copper. And there were a ton of like mines and copper mines as you started to look around. So it wasn't that much, but I didn't catch on to the ham part of it, which I thought was really clever because the Cuban sandwich has ham in it. And then the Bingham.
Uh-huh.
We never say Bingham, but it's spelled with a ham.
Uh-huh.
I think that's pretty cool. I also loved their black hoppers line because it was like black hoppers. Like, what could that mean? And we were like thinking like grasshoppers or crickets, but it was actually a reference to kind of like crickets, but the black locust, the grasshoppers. And there's things called black locust trees. And there's two really famous black locust trees that were right at the front of like Fort Harriman in Harriman, which it doesn't exist.
Really famous?
Well, they're like, if you look on the Wikipedia page for Harriman, it talks about it mentions two locust trees, like in the Wikipedia page,
That is
talking
really
about Fort Harriman,
famous.
which the fort doesn't exist anymore. It's just a monument, but it was like a pretty cool wordplay. Anyways,
That is cool.
that's kind of a good example. They also did a hidden acronym where the first lines of each of the lines spelled out tree.
I love that.
And that was to reinforce the
That
fact
it's not an insect, it's a
yeah,
tree. Yeah.
I thought it was so cool. I love multiple layers and all of the different clever ways they find to infuse hints into the Bank of Utah treasure hunt. I think it's actually more the way I would maybe write a poem if I had to, more so than the Utah treasure hunt, which tends to be a little less on the nose and a little more just like, I don't know, broad. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never tried to categorize the
Yeah.
treasure hunt poems, but they're always the same. They're always the same.
Yeah.
As far as their structure and like how they work.
Yeah. Anyways, last couple things. There's always usually like a reference to a number that's encoded in something to either tell you like 1 year it was 46 to get you to 4600 South or whatever road where like a trailhead was found.
Mhm.
One was for the amount of state parks for Echo State Park to give a hint. So there is usually numbers and like infused into the poem that are used for some indicator how many steps you have to get off the trail or things like that. But those are some of the things that I found as I analyzed the past hunts and some of the key structural elements of it that we might want to look at for this year. So with that and in like as we talk about the first clue, I think it's best for us just to have like pretty much the idea like this is just trying to let us do a county.
Mhm.
I mean, they could always do something different, but that's
Yeah.
kind of what it's been.
So do we want to dive into the first?
let's dive
Or
in.
do we want
Let's
to
dive in.
Do you have anything else from
I
previous?
want to do
No, you're good. That's fine. Go ahead.
I want to do a little brainstorming activity.
Ooh,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
surprise.
You guys just say the word that comes to mind, the first word.
Okay.
Dreams find wings, Christian.
Disney. I have no idea why I said that. Does it just sound like a cheesy, like your dreams can find wings at Disney parks this year?
Caden. Cream pie.
Crust.
I understand the dreams wings thing. What did cream pie have to do with anything?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Christian, the sweetest answers.
Are the softest touches.
Caden, hammock.
Camping.
Christian, more than just metal.
Abs. Are some of these real lines
These
of
are
the poem?
from
Caden?
the poem.
Caden,
What?
favorite fruit.
Apple.
Okay. That's it.
No, you're just asking people their favorites. Okay. That was such a fun segment.
I don't get it.
It's okay. You know what? We're going to let it ride. It was such a fun activity. Okay. So before we break down the poem and go into some ideas for the solve for the clue one, which people might want to just skip this part, but I thought it'd be fun to try to do some different segments in all of our episodes that are a little bit like different, like maybe little fun games or activities. I also thought it'd be fun. I haven't run this by you, but I'm fine to front it. I'd like to do a miniature contest in every single episode where we challenge our listeners to do something, and the first person who does it or gives the right answer, we'll send them a $25 gift card. Okay. So I'm going to cover the $25 this time.
Wow.
But I would like to do a little challenge. Okay, so you guys are not prepared for this. They don't know what this is. So the segment that I'm going to call this today is how long will it take? Honestly, Chad's probably heard that plenty of times. But okay. So like Chad, this should probably take less than 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, so this is a challenge for you guys. Okay. So the first challenge is I'm going to post a riddle on our Instagram story. Like right now.
Okay.
Okay.
The challenge for us?
Yes. Now the challenge.
and Caden?
Yes, this challenge is for our listeners too, but I'm going to make a little game for you guys too. Okay.
All right.
You guys have to guess how long will it take for someone to get the right answer.
Just one of our followers and
Yes.
reply back?
I'm going to read you the poem.
So they're not going to know that this is part of a game.
And when people listen to this, the game already would be over because I'm
Yeah.
posting on Instagram.
Right.
But we're going to see how
You're
long
doing
it'll
it right
take.
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read you the poem, and
This is a poem you made.
I write riddles in my spare time.
Yeah,
So
and
me.
I do know that.
Okay. And if
That's not a joke, by the way. He
No.
does. Yeah.
I don't know, some people have friends. My friends are all riddles. Okay. I attempt to stop before.
So wait.
Yeah.
Are we trying to solve this or are we
No.
Well, I'm
No.
trying to read you the poem so you know how hard it is. So you can.
are we trying to guess?
Yeah. Let's have you guess.
No. Okay.
This is fun.
All right. Go.
This is already taking longer than. Okay. I attempt to stop before my sworn enemy does. When I do my job right, I cause quite the buzz. What you might call me is different than most. Like Karl Malone, you might say my friends are the post. My friends are known to often play dead, and when I get too aggressive, I often see red. Before you get frustrated and start consulting another, I'm the subject of the question asked by the first famous brother.
It's hard to keep track of all that.
I'll do it one more time.
Okay.
I attempt to stop before my sworn enemy does, but when I do my job right, I cause quite the buzz. What you might call me is different than most. Like Karl Malone's, you might say I'm a friend of the post. My friends are known to often play dead. When I get too aggressive, I often see red. Before you get frustrated and start consulting another, I'm the subject of the question asked by the first famous brother.
Charity.
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper's correct.
What?
Charity.
I have no idea. I've completely lost. I don't know. I don't.
So I attempt to stop before my sworn enemy does.
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
do my job right, I call quite the buzz. You might call me as different than most. We'll call them goalies. The people will call them keepers.
Yeah.
Like Karl Malone's, you might say my friends are the post. My friends are known to often play dead. When I get too aggressive, I often see red. Before you get stressed and start consulting
Why do their friends play dead?
because
They're flop on
on soccer.
the soccer
Okay.
field.
I'm the subject of the claim by the first famous brother. Is that what got it?
Yeah.
All
All right.
Well,
I
and
think
then
someone
once
will
I
get it within 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Kane, what's your guess?
like reply back to you,
So I'm going to post it on our Instagram story, and I'm going to.
I'll
with a
take the
question.
over on that.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'll let you
I'm all right
think
with that.
about it.
Or do you want
wanna-
to set an over under?
No. Let's do over under 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'm under.
Give me 30 seconds to post.
It's 11:40. Okay. See, that's not fair.
That's a
Hey.
So the
Someone's got to look at it, read it, and yeah, I like my pick.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
It's
well,
11:40.
let him set it. You get
All
one more
right,
chance to
because
adjust.
it's 11:40. I'm gonna say 7 minutes. I
Okay.
still think
I'll
that
take
that's-
the under on that.
No, I get the under on it. All right.
You're setting the over under.
Okay, I'll set it. 4 minutes.
You're so stupid.
I want the under. 4 minutes.
Does that sound good?
You can't set the line and take the
Yeah,
under.
you get to set the line, then he gets to choose under or over, dude.
Okay. 4 minutes.
I'll take the under still. Dang it. I'm so confident with my over too and under 7.
Okay.
That's a pretty good line though. I'll take the under.
So
Are you going to be monitoring this or are we just going to have
we'll check at the end of the episode if we have any right answers yet, and I'll be able to
And
see.
you'll be
the-
able to
the
see when
timestamp
they-
of
okay.
submit it.
I've got one. I've got another riddle.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Is this a contest between
I'm yellow and curved like a moon. Monkeys go wild for me all
Banana.
afternoon.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right.
That was fun. Okay.
Did you write that or you just looked it up?
Well, I saw it, but it's whatever. It doesn't matter.
You
Doesn't
saw
matter.
it.
It doesn't matter at this point. It's past. It was a bad riddle. I didn't know you were good at riddles.
I'm pretty good at riddles.
Kane's really good at riddles.
I didn't know that.
I'm not good at writing
Is that
riddles.
format weird? I just can't edit this now.
We're in the middle of a podcast right now.
I know.
I had the best treat today on the plane. It was like a little thin, salty
Cracker?
cookie. Yeah. It was like, I
You're
forget.
excited about the crackers on the
I
airplane?
forget what brand it was.
We're really getting really good.
I
That was
should
the
have.
best treat. Have you ever been on an airplane? Because that's what they
It's
get
like
on
a
all of them.
new. I know, but it's a new one. I should have taken a picture
It's a
of it.
new
I'm
one.
trying to. I got to figure out what it was.
It's like a saltine cracker, though.
It's not a saltine cracker.
That's
it's
what
like
you
a.
said.
I said a like salty, like a.
Oh, a
it's like a savory type of cracker.
Okay. How long will it take for someone named Janet to write
Ooh.
any comment on any of our posts on our Instagram?
I mean, it won't happen before this episode gets
Okay.
published.
So you guys have to guess a day, an hour.
I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna say 10 hours after we post this episode.
I'm gonna say 17 days.
17 days from when we post the episode, a Janet will post in our comment.
Yeah.
And
I just don't feel like Janet is not a common name nowadays.
Mhm.
Plus, why is Janet?
Are we gonna go through all our comments?
What are you doing,
with a
Janet?
Fine tooth comb. To
Well,
find
we get
Janet?
we get notifications. I'll be able to see if Janet commented anything. We don't
No,
get
but
it
what if her
automatic.
name
We'll
is
have
like
Claude monitor that.
Grammarama, but her name is Janet? It's good.
Grammarama.
The notification is going to
Here's the
say
thing.
Janet.
The person,
Grammarama
a
commented.
person, a person,
You know what I mean?
a person named Janet has to comment on our
I would
post
be surprised
and
if we
say-
get.
And say Janet.
and say
The word Janet. Just comment your name.
someone
I
named,
would be surprised if we get a comment on a post. in
someone
the
named
next-
Janet has to comment with the name Janet.
That's it. Just the only. I mean, okay, if that's what it's going to take, it's going to be 20. Well, no, maybe someone listening to this.
Yeah.
I'll say 2 days after we
2
post
days, and
this.
you're going to say 20,
I said 17.
17. Okay, fun. All right, the last part of this. How long will it take? Caden.
Yeah.
Chad was given a challenge. A challenge was to get you to say a specific word. You have said that word. You get a chance to guess what the word is that he got you to say. If you guess right, then you win.
I have no idea.
You want to even take a guess?
You got 5 seconds. He has a time limit. 5 seconds.
10 seconds.
5. 10
Uh,
seconds. 10,
I don't
9,
even know what I've said,
8,
what he's prompted me to say.
7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
1.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't,
Zero.
I don't even have a
Yes.
guess.
All right, Chad. Caden was given a challenge to get you to say a specific word. You have said that word.
Cracker.
Oh, you got it.
Dang.
No
As soon as
way.
he did it, I thought, crap, he just did it to me. I saw your face twitch.
No,
You blew
no.
it. I saw your face
My
twitch.
Twitch? How did
I was going to do something else, but then we had that dead
Let's
time.
replay the twitch.
Thin, salty
Cracker?
cookie. Yeah. Yeah. It was, yeah. It was like,
I didn't twitch.
You
what was
did.
mine?
I saw your mouth go like this.
Banana.
You're so dumb.
He asked you his own riddle. And just instantly, I got the riddle right, banana. And
Yeah.
Chad's just like, yep.
It's like, yeah, let's forget about it. Dude.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm very excited that I won.
That's dumb.
And I was wondering, it wasn't just a twitch because I was also wondering if Caden also had the same.
You can't
challenge.
do that. You can't have us both play the same game.
Well, you both weren't sure, and it both worked out, and he just won. He knew as much as you knew.
I knew as much as you did,
knew as
and
much as he did.
I assumed that you also had the challenge.
I didn't.
Did you assume that I had the challenge?
No.
That is your own fault.
Here's the
That's
final
why I
thing.
win.
I was given a challenge
Oh my
by our listeners
gosh.
to get you guys to both say a word.
What
Did
is
we say
it?
it?
Both of you
Dice?
said it.
What is
Do you
it?
think what it was?
Wait,
one of these
what was
stupid-
the what was the answer to his other question? To his other riddle? I totally forgot now.
I'm just totally joking. I didn't do that.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I would have seen the listeners.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fun segment. How long will it take? We definitely took longer than Chad has ever taken.
Well,
And
to put a bow on this,
yeah.
how long is it going to take to find the treasure? Is that what kind of the
Yeah.
wallet? Is that kind
actually
of
that
what
was the last question I was going to ask.
Okay.
Nice.
How long will it take for this to them find it? The first couple weeks, the first couple hunts took about 5 weeks. Last one took 2 weeks. But they're going to make it harder.
Yeah, well, I think they even said that they
Are we going to read
learned
the?
from there.
We're going to finish by reading the
We
poem.
need to
Okay.
dive in.
All right.
I think it'll take. I think it'll take before the last clue, but like right before the last clue.
Okay, it's about 4 weeks.
Yeah, or
Okay.
5, or
I
however.
think it'll be immediately after the last clue.
I think that's pretty safe. I agree with that. I think they're going to make it hard enough because even though I feel like the first clue is pretty easy, I feel like we have a pretty good answer to what it is. We could be wrong.
it
of
doesn't
course.
mean that we're even.
Yeah,
close.
but if it gets you to the right county, it's like counties are big. Okay. So let's go ahead and finish off the last 10 minutes here by reading the first clue and doing some brainstorming. Oh, by the way, him just asking the word association questions was just him trying to get you to say banana.
Yeah.
So he's like hammock, fruit,
Cream pie.
cream pie.
I know.
And he was asking me real word associations. And you just
That is so dumb.
all but
I was like, these make no sense. Some of them have to do with the poem. Some of them. And it's Chad doing it, so I was like, "Oh, well,
I
that
had
was a
no idea he
stupid
was going to do
segment. I don't know
that,
what-
and I was just dying, being like, "Is he trying?" And then I think he like prepped you like subconsciously, so that when he asked the riddle, you're like banana. You're like, I had that in your mind.
I was hoping. No, I did. I wasn't doing that. I was genuinely trying to get him to
Yeah.
just say it there. But
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll read the poem and let's then talk about it. Okay.
It's tough.
Clue 1. Last year was our fault. You found the wallet so fast. So this year our hunt is built to last. Nothing. I'll just read it and then we'll go back. It's time to this time at rest in a place of connection. Don't think the wrong motive or you'll find misdirection. While dreams find wings as you think of your winnings, take a moment to ponder on Utah's beginnings. The sweetest answers may leave you unsettled, for what joined is remembered as more than just metal.
Promontory Point.
Yeah, right.
I say
Yeah, I mean that was our first.
I think the part that I think is the biggest question mark for me is the sweet. Sorry, what was the sweet part? Could you read that again?
It said the sweetest answers may leave you unsettled.
Sweetest answers may leave you unsettled, and the line before that.
Take a moment to ponder Utah's beginnings.
Well, because I think that's a good point, because if you think
Those
Utah's
two.
beginnings, you're kind of thinking really 3. You're thinking like the
This is-
Dominguez and Escalante.
This is the place.
You're thinking the trappers, like Jim Bridger and things like that. And then you're thinking the Mormon pioneers, right? You're thinking like first people into Utah, first, like people who kind of developed Utah, and then like obviously the first people who like migrated to Utah. So that's like generally what you would think, I would think, for beginnings.
Mhm.
So if you think Promontory Point, that's the Golden Spike Monument. It's funny. I read it to my coworker and read it and I said, that's the Golden Spike Monument. Like right then. And then I read it to Chad the first time. And he's like, that's Promontory Point. Like no one like hesitated at all. It seemed pretty simple.
But it's not just because of the last line, which the last line just feels like Promontory Point. It's also because of all of the other little things in the clue.
Yeah.
Like, don't get the wrong motive and connections.
Motive for locomotive.
Motive for locomotive, and then connections for like train tracks or
Well,
it
like the
just
connection
feels
is,
like
well, that's where the 2 rail lines met.
Yeah.
From the east coast to the west coast, they met at the Golden Spike Monument, Promontory
Yeah.
Point. They put the Golden Spike. It's literally the point of connection.
point of connection. It's deep into Utah, like beginnings of history. So-
Well, and the part that got me excited is where it talks about the wings. So when I was looking at this, because I was researching the 2 different rail companies that met there, and I was looking them up, and I looked at the logo for the Union Pacific Railroad, which is one of them. And listeners,
he keeps calling our listeners our readers.
You know what? I'm sorry to assume that I think our readers or listeners can read. You probably can't see that very well.
No.
That's the Union.
Christian, they can't see that at all.
Here, I'll help you. If you look up the Union Pacific Railroad logo, there's two of them. One's a shield, and the other one's a shield with literal wings. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that one felt good. And the reason I like that is that don't choose the wrong motive. I think they're trying to tell us there's two locomotives, maybe at this point of connection. One was the Union Pacific, the other one was like the central one, the one that came from the West Coast. And you're just supposed to follow the track and the trail through Utah from Promontory Point, which goes back east, like into Park City and things like that, of the Union Pacific Railroad. And that's supposed to lead you to where you're supposed to go next.
Yeah, it's likely not over there. There's nothing over there.
So there's nothing over there where Promontory Point is, but if you follow the tracks, you'll go through Corian.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that you could comb through western Utah as much as you want and you won't find it.
Oh man, that's God's country, Western Utah. What's your favorite city west of Tooele?
Stansbury
Goshen.
Park.
You made up both of those words.
Goshen is south. It's
Yeah.
like it's pretty far.
probably
It's
west.
pretty far
It's
west.
probably west.
If any of our listeners live west of Tooele, hit us up. Tell
Is
us where-
Stansbury Park west of Tooele?
I don't know where
No, no.
Stansbury Park is.
No, that's in between Tooele and Utah, Salt Lake, right?
I think it's south of Tooele. I don't know if
Okay.
it's.
I don't think there's any parks.
Anyways,
out
the
there.
other reason I like that is because they talk about being unsettled, and man, unsettled part of Utah, it's there.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about counties,
What about the? Never mind. It's gonna be a dumb idea.
no,
You're
go
gonna
ahead.
make
That's
fun of me
never
for
stopped you before.
it.
Ooh, Stansbury Park is just
No, I was gonna
north
say-
of Tooele.
The what do they call the area around Utah Lake that is supposed to sink in if there's ever an earthquake? So the ground is like unsettled.
Fault
It's supposed to liquefy.
the
The
Utah
ground
Lake is,
around
Utah
Utah,
Lake
Lake,
is-
is supposed to liquefy
I've
and-
never heard this.
in the case of a massive earthquake. So
Really?
Vineyard is gone.
I
Vineyard's
live
gonna-
right by Utah Lake.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
you're going to liquefy.
well, the ground will liquefy. You will, unfortunately, not. You'll wish you had. I don't know.
You unfortunately won't liquefy. You're like, damn, if I was only water. Okay.
It's so stupid.
No, it wasn't. It's stupid. It didn't start as stupid as we all thought it was going to. It ended right where we thought it was going to end. Okay, so the other part I want to mention with this is, okay, so in the past hunts, the first clue is a county. So if we're just going to apply the same, Box Elder County, here we come. Someone, do you guys,
Okay.
what cities are in Box Elder County?
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna look it up real quick.
I guess
There's not a
the
ton
readers will
of-
just wait at this point.
Well, I mean, they waited for 5 minutes as we told each other riddles. Bear
That's
River
true.
City, Bingham City, Corian, Deweyville, fun, Elwood, Fielding. I haven't heard of 90% of these. Elwood, Fielding, Garland, Honeyville.
Ooh,
Sweetest
sweetest dreams.
Oh, okay.
Sweetest answers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we're supposed to be in county, not city.
wild dreams find wings, and you think, oh yeah.
Honeyville.
Caden, will you stop kicking all the audio equipment?
Okay.
Just
Sorry.
move everything.
Ventura, Howell, Perry, Plymouth, Portage, Snowville, Tremonton,
Tree Mitten?
Tremont,
What did you say?
Tonksville,
Tremonton,
Tonksville, and Willard.
Tremonton.
One of those cities I named was not a real city. Which one was it?
Tonksville.
Yeah, it was. I panicked.
That was not very smooth.
I named 17
You know what gave
at
it
the
away?
very end.
You know what
Harry
gave
Potter
it away? It's a
reference?
Harry Potter.
I know,
reference.
I know, and I love Harry Potter.
When you're backed up against a wall, you
Yeah.
default to Harry Potter references.
Seriously, it's
so.
100% right. Anyways, I like that as the county. And I honestly, the first thing I thought of is like, that's too simple. That's too easy.
But I don't think that they're trying to make the first clue difficult. I think they're trying to not put enough in the first clue.
That
Yeah.
it can be found.
Yeah. So even if you have the answer,
It's like,
it's still basically impossible.
good luck going to all those cities
Yeah.
and finding a trail.
Yeah.
And
Tonksville, you're gonna have trouble even finding that city.
It honestly, that city changes. It looks different every time you see it. That's such a deep reference
That
for
is-
any of our
that's
Harry
pretty
Potter
good.
fans.
Anyways.
And it's dead town. It's dead.
Oh, yeah.
She died. Okay.
It's a ghost town.
It's a
This is
ghost
his
town.
way
Yeah,
to
That's
that's
pretty funny. Yeah, that's what she did. Anyways, can we? I want to read. Do you want to read a couple of the readers?
Yeah.
Some of the listeners have messaged us with some different ideas that they thought, and a lot of people said the same thing that we said, but there were some other ideas.
The question you asked specifically was,
I just
what
said-
do you think about this?
Yeah, what
this
stood out to
clue?
you?
What stood out to you in
Yeah.
general? Chris Shane said the last line will provide the largest hint to its general location. He is a former wallet winner, so
Ah.
we should pay attention.
I kind of liked, not throwing any. No, that's great.
The beginning. This is Lover 2J. The beginning makes me think of Trapper's Trails.
Yeah, I mean, for the Point Utah history, early history, the
Utah's
trappers like Jim
beginnings.
Bridger and things
Yeah.
like that. And
Kim Shi Pro said Eagle Gate in downtown Salt Lake City. Assuming just that one line with the wings.
That's where my mother-in-law lives, so that would be great.
That's great.
That's where it was.
Is your mother-in-law Kim Shi Pro?
No,
That would have been a fun little.
that would have been fun. It's right outside my house.
Yeah.
She doesn't sound like that. But.
Lou Watley or Lee Watley. Sweet History Sugar Beet Factory.
Oh,
Is there like a famous sugar beet factory in Utah or something?
maybe.
I don't know. Oh, this guy or girl, Kelly Lowe. Motive equals locomotive. Joining metal equals Promontory Point.
Yeah.
She's on the same vein as us.
I think that's what it is. I think
I think
they
so, too.
know. I think it's like almost a way to bring people in where they don't feel so
Overwhelmed.
but like there's no way we know the first one. I think
Yeah.
it gets a lot of people excited enough, and then it's like, okay, good luck, Boxell. There's a big place.
Yeah.
It's like that, like game theory where you download an app, like a game.
Freemium.
They like chess, like you download
Yeah.
chess, the chess app.
Premium.
They let you win the first game because if you
Gambling.
lose the first game,
Mm-hmm.
it's not fun.
Yeah.
But if you can get this, I don't know that they did this, that they made the first
Fortnite.
one easy. Oh, does Fortnite do that?
Well, thanks for just saying a random word out loud. Then
Fortnite kind of does. Your first game is against bots, I think.
okay,
So it's pretty dang easy.
We used to play Fortnite a lot.
yeah,
us,
we did.
us three.
The
Yeah.
three of us, yeah.
Going the
Yeah, dropping tilted towers.
yeah. That was so fun.
Oh,
Good
that
times.
was fun.
Anyways, Mole S, but this is the last one. Don't think the wrong motive could mean train.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the same.
And we got a
vein as
couple
us.
other comments, but we wanted to read those. Anyways, we're excited. Hopefully, this hasn't been too rambling. We haven't done a podcast in about a year and a half, so we're getting our sea legs back too.
Is rambling a train reference? A rambling train? Is that a thing?
It's a word I said. I didn't read it from anything.
No, I'm just saying. That would have been clever if you had said that
But it's
with
not.
that in mind.
I don't think it's a train.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever heard it
Let's
in
just end this.
conjunction with a train.
Conjunction.
Conjunction, junction.
Junction. What's your function? Our lots of democracy.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, that's the other
That's
one.
the-
The other two.
Yeah.
Nation becomes a bill, or
A bill becomes a law.
bill because. No, wait. We the people,
In order to form a more perfect union,
Oh, boy.
establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense,
Oh yeah,
Okay.
promote the general welfare, and
provide for liberty for ourselves and our posterity to ordain and establish this Constitution.
Okay, let's stop.
of
Why?
Let's
the
stop it.
United States of.
I don't know what this is.
It's the preamble. America.
And just like the preamble, that was just a
That
warm up
was-
to the Constitution.
We the people.
Stop it. We just lost all of any of the listeners.
No,
that were-
because I know half the listeners were like, "Yeah, let's go, champ."
and the readers couldn't even hear it. How do you feel about that?
So stupid. That was your best joke. That was your best joke ever.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Christian, Chad. Thank you, readers and listeners alike. It's been fun. We're excited to. We'll probably be back again, hopefully this week. We got this episode out a little late because I was out of town, but the next clue should be coming out any day. So we'll hop on again. And if you have any theories or any ideas about this clue or the next, please reach out, and we'd love to talk about it on the pod.
If you send us an audio message, we'll play the audio message if it's good on the podcast or send it to us.
Depends on how much singing there is.
Bonus if there's a little.
If there's some singing, it's a guarantee.
Yeah, for sure.
There.
Okay. Well, thanks. We'll catch you on the next one. Outside.